Hey everybody, good morning. Good morning, good morning. What's going on? Check this out. Meta popping on the initial earnings and dropping. But did we find a bottom? I don't know. We'll see. And Infinity, good morning. John, good morning. Andreas, Ludwig, interesting. Ludwig. Dan, Maurizio, Alan, Sergio, Michael, Kevin, Svenborn, Jaquise, Merle, Arturo, Dan, Don, Don, blah, blah. Francois, Gary, Nikki, Wrongimer. Hey, Wrongimer. I heard the Mercedes lot is 30% electric right now down there on Parkside. It's pretty crazy. Over 30% of their vehicles they got on the lot electric. They're going all in. They canceled that Mercedes van we have. We're probably going to buy a new one because they're going to discontinue it. Anyway, Craig, Cliff, Andrew, Leah, Pat, David, Eric, good morning. If you want to chat with me like these fine folks, all you got to do, hit the button right over here, right down here. Just hit that button, become a subscriber. Few moments later, you'll be able to chat just like everybody else on the live stream. Hey, Valerie, if I'm no longer live, though, you're going to have to leave a comment down below. And if I say anything today that you like, yeah, they're going to make a Metris EV. Actually, that was what they're going to do. I don't know. A Metris BEV, I should say. Battery electric vehicle. So, if there's anything I say that you like, hit the thumbs up during the presentation here. I appreciate it. And as always, chat with me, ask questions if you got them, and we'll go through it all. So yeah, we have a Metris EV. We have a Metris, not an EV. We have a Metris van for our engineering company, and that my family runs. It's a 2016, one of the first years, and so it's 8 years old now. It's got like just shy of 200,000 miles on it. I mean, it's still. We just put a brand new turbo on it. Runs perfectly. But I guess Mercedes only only willing to give us like $8,000 for it, so we're probably gonna sell it off to a private party that wanted another work truck, and we'll probably get a new one, a 2023, because they're not gonna make them. 70% of the 2023 capacity is already sold to the post office. If you didn't know, the post office is buying those Mercedes vans, and it's just interesting. Keep my thumb on the pulse of what's going on. So. Yeah, it'd probably go for another 200,000. That's what we were telling the guy buying it. It's probably good for at least 400,000 miles. So we replaced the exhaust gasket and the brand new turbo, brand new throttle body, which didn't even need to be replaced. It turns out, but hey, replace that. Trying to fix another problem. So anyway, jumping into what's going on. Meta, like I said, turning the bottom potentially. Google, we'll talk about Google just a little bit. It's not a request show, Hannah, but Google was already on the list. All right. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. If you're in this game, there is a substantial risk of losing money. All right. Let's be serious about this. Trading is difficult. It's not very hard, but it is difficult. All right. Especially when you sew in all the facts. You know, we've got fear, we've got uncertainty, we got doubt, we got money involved. You tend to make bad decisions when your emotions get involved, and it's hard not to be emotional about money. So, yeah, they did. They do have the post office logo instead of the Mercedes logo. It's pretty funny. Anyway, past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. Sorry, I was reading the chat. I may never get one of these predictions right again. I mean, I tend to get them. I tend to do all right. I mean, that's why you're here, right? I tend to do all right. I tend to help you, give you a heads up what's coming next. This presentation, though, is intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not recommendation to buy or sell any financial asset. It's not a recommendation to buy anything. No futures, no options, no forex, no cryptos, none of that stuff. Don't buy it. Don't sell it. Don't buy subscriptions from gurus, alleged gurus, until they know their stuff. That's why I do this YouTube show, to try to build a relationship with you It's free. I mean, hit the subscribe button. Come back tomorrow and the day after and the day after. I do this every day to try to give you an advantage in the market. But if you desire personal financial advice, you got to hire and consult a financial advisor. That's not what I do. I'm not advising you on what to do. Just trying to get you the real story. The mainstream media, full of crap. Jim Cramer saying that Bitcoin was going to dive huge right before it took off and ran up like 5,000, 6,000 bucks. I mean, come on, man. Come on. How wrong can you be? And then he doesn't even admit he was wrong. He just ignores it. I mean, come on. Come on, man. Anyway, there's others. I mean, there's lots of others out there that consistently get crap wrong. But what are you going to do? I mean, follow somebody that gets it right. Pay attention. All right, Thursday morning, we had GDP coming out, 4.9. That's pretty crazy. We were expecting a 4.5, got a 4.9. We might turn the bottom here. Unemployment claims, expecting a 208, got a 210. That's basically in line. Not really that different, probably within the rounding. I mean, they baked that number anyway. Hard to know. Advanced GDP price index, 3.5. We're expecting a 2.7. I mean, that's pretty strong numbers. Core durable goods, getting a 0.5, expecting a 0.2. Again, pretty strong. This is looking, I mean, this is the crazy. Look at this, durable goods orders. Expecting a 1.9, getting a 4.7. I mean, if that number is real, like that's showing that we're expecting a stronger consumer here in the next couple of months here. I mean, we are coming up on the holiday buying season, but that's durable goods. We're not talking about gifts and stuff. That's durable goods. So interesting read. You know, tomorrow we do have PCE. Where is it? Right here. PCE, core PCE coming in. That's Powell's favorite, personal consumer expenditures, to try to look at the read on inflation a different way. Most of us look at PCI. Of course, that's a completely fabricated number. I mean, yeah, if we take out food and energy and fuel and healthcare and all the other things, we've got no inflation. I mean, come on. As Joe Biden says, come on, man. Anyway, revised consumer sentiment also coming out after the market opens tomorrow. So keep it in mind that we're getting some daylight savings shifts around the world. That'll continue. Then next week, rolling into I keep calling Halloween Thanksgiving for some reason. It's stuck in my head. We went and did trunk or treat last night. Let me pop this up. Look at this. It was so beautiful out there last night. Kimberly and I running a trunk. I don't actually have a picture of the two of us. I was wearing a giant top hat, and this was our scoutmaster setting up a tent with a little campfire in front of it. And we had like 1,300 people pass through last night. It was pretty fun. Always fun. I think one of Kimberly's favorite costumes was the Wednesday Addams. The little girls dressed as Wednesday Addams. So it was pretty great stuff. Anyway, leaves are all changing beautiful. So yeah, it was. I remarked to my son this morning with the sun just coming up through some of the leaves. I was like, man, it is pretty out here today. And really, right here in East Tennessee during this time of year, really beautiful. Peak leaf season, as they call it. Hey, Goose, good morning. Glad to see you. Get done flying? All right, so there you go. Next week, we've got, let's see what we got. I haven't even been through next week yet. Haven't got that far in my head. So it looks like we've got employment cost index coming up on Tuesday, Halloween. Then we have some JOLTS job openings, ISM manufacturing, FOMC. Dun, 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 dun. We'll get the FOMC meeting coming up on Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. I think they'll probably hold the rate the same, but that is coming up right there. They've kind of been indicating, they've been out in full force the last couple of weeks, kind of announcing that they may hold off, so they're probably going to hold off. They're probably going to hold rates steady. And then unemployment claims, of course, next Thursday, like we get every week. And then on Friday, we have average hourly earnings, non-farm employment, employment rate, ISM services, and a treasury currency report. So this ought to be interesting. Next couple weeks, we'll see what's going on. I think they're going to hold rates the same. Let's be honest, the rates changing doesn't really matter that much in the market, but when we look at the DGS2, it's kind of leveling off a little bit. I thought we may level off, and we've kind of leveled off. But watch out for that blue line to start taking off again. I did think that we may see that happen. We may level off for a while, and then we may see the blue line take off again. That was something I speculated on all the way back in February. God, seems like it was just the other day, but yeah. Kimberly is, this is my other day, just my other day. The other day I was talking about, yeah, it was February. So I speculated that we may see this go sideways for a while and then pick up again. And the orange line, which is the Fed funds rate, have to chase the market rate, the DGS2, two-year Treasury constant maturity rate. Watch out. They said they were going to raise one more time this year, but the bond market has tightened fiscal conditions, monetary conditions tighter than they intended. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. They may go for a December and sledge down in New Orleans. Yeah. When people say they're in LA, I'm like, is it Louisiana? Is it Lower Alabama? Or is it Los Angeles? Anyway. So there you go. 2-year constant maturity rate. That's kind of indicative that they're going to hold steady because that thing's holding steady. It's not really raising. You can see when it took off back here in October of 21, September, October 21. And then they had to try and, one of the reasons for the most aggressive rate raise in history was the fact that the 2-year constant treasury, or 2-year treasury constant maturity rate was taking off at one of the fastest rates we've ever seen. So they were chasing that baby. And then they caught it right here in December last year. And they kept going a little bit. And it's we've just been kind of flying in parallel with it. So I keep an eye on this. It's only updated weekly. So if it starts taking off again, though, it gets back above the orange line, they're going to raise rates more. I mean, now the mainstream media narrative is that raising rates is bad for the market, but really, when you look at it, that means financial, economic conditions are running hot. Things are good. Rate raises are good. I mean, don't get stuck in the mindset, listen to the mainstream media narrative that raising rates is bad for the market. It means we're doing really good, and people are, companies are making money, things are doing good, and it's when they start cutting rates, that's when you have to watch. That means financial conditions are turning a little sour. Something's going on. So watch out for those rate cuts. That's what we don't really want to see. That means things are going to be no bueno. All right. Moving on. Meta. We got market open in about 1 minute. Yeah, Meta popping and then dropping. So sucked down by the market last night. Overnight here. Not S5FI. Looking at the futures. Overnight. Gotta jump down the time frame. And coming out, bottoming in the bottom of the orange box. Imagine that. Kind of closed down here and then drifted on lower. Tried to break out twice and then popping back up. Not a huge move on this GDP. If we can get above this 30-minute roadmap line, that'll be indicative that we may see continuation higher. Of course, we do have substantially far up to go before we get back to the 1 hour, the 4 hour being way on up here, and the daily being up here too. So we're down below and hunting the bottom. That orange box comes from that consolidation we did back in May. So we've essentially the summer move up. We've taken it back in the fall, and the market has gone nowhere essentially since May. And really, we're kind of right in the same ballpark as we were in April. So, a wasted 6 months. Just poof. And I'm not a very good poofer. So, all right. Moving on. S5FI. Kudos to anybody that knows where that I'm not a very good poofer line comes from, besides Kimberly. And S5FI. Yeah, that could have been the dip and the double dip. Even though we dipped a little lower yesterday, we didn't really show that on the S5FI. This thing kind of tilting its hand, tipping the hand that we may see this rocket off. Kind of expected it to bottom out right exactly where we did. Watch for the turn. Watch for the turn. Today could be one of those days we get a huge 100, 200 point up day in the market. We could wait till tomorrow. We could wait till next week when we get the FOMC meeting. We could. All right. The market doesn't have to do anything in particular, so watch for the turn. The longer we sit here and squeeze in this tight range, though, the longer we churn at the bottom, the bigger the move's going to be. All right, we're not really moving very big. We're just kind of little bitty moves. The more we wind it up, the bigger the reaction is going to be when we actually start moving. In Q, ES, if you're unfamiliar, that's S&P 500 futures. In Q, if you're unfamiliar, that's NASDAQ, big tech futures. Also indicating that we're kind of bottoming. We did finally completely fill that gap. Spike down overnight. That could be the flush out we were looking for. This could be it. We can have the bottom. All right. Just be careful out there. Russell also right down to that 1650. I mean, and it spiked right down to that other target. Right. I mean, everything's looking like we did all the things to the downside I thought that I put out there as possible. So the Russell, if it doesn't hold here, we could go down even more. But at this point, it finally hit the target I put on there back in the summer. So yeah, be careful. Be careful. All right. Yeah, there's the flip side to it, PD. Circling back to what PD just said, raise the interest rates and the interest on the national debt just flies higher and faster. Yeah, but I mean, the flip to it is that it gets way complicated. I mean, they've got to reduce the money supply. They pumped trillions. Congress pumped trillions of dollars into it, into the markets, and they keep writing $1 trillion spending bills, and the Fed's doing all they can with their BB gun to try to attack it. We can't really attack this whole thing until we get actual fiscal responsibility happening. And we did elect a new House Speaker. We, the United States, actually finally picked a House Speaker, a Speaker of the House. Now, is he going to stay? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Is he going to be effective? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Oil, almost right to the target. Probably going to push on down lower. Now, interestingly, in the market, in the oil market, there's 3 million barrels a day supply missing. Are they cooking the books, pushing the prices of oil lower? Several analysts came out. They kind of talked to each other, and they were like, "There's 3 million barrels of oil production missing out of the market, and they cannot find it." They were expecting a crude. No, it's a 3 million a day shortage. There was a crude build. I'll get my story straight. There was a crude build in the report, and that's causing this to drop out. There should have been a 3 million barrel a day shortage, but it's not showing up in anything yet. We're sitting at record high production on a lot of the refining, and yet there's crude building. So something weird is playing out in the market. I'll try to keep my thumb on what's happening here. So There you go. Valerie got it. 51st dates. I'm not a very good poofer. All right. Anyway, oil probably going to continue down, find support here, and then we could see this thing take off. So watch for a lower low. Set your alert here. I'm probably going to do that at this moment. Right there at the roadmap line. And there you go. I had a question come in yesterday about the width of the roadmap line. What's the significance of the thickness of the roadmap line? So just to address it, in a highly trending market, this thing gets nice and wide. When we trend fast, it gets wider. When we trend slower, it gets thinner. And when we quit trending, it gets almost non-existent. It doesn't really have significance for me, but that's what it tells you. It's like how strong is the trend? When it's nice and fat, the trend's going pretty good. When it's skinny and barely barely tell where it is on the chart, the trend is not really there. And when we reverse trends, of course, it has to get skinny and flip the other way to get thin, and then it flips back the other way when we start back into a new trend. So we're potentially into a new trend on oil. We'll see if we can hold above the roadmap line or if we break down and go lower low. GC, just continuing to churn right here. And we're seeing that in Bitcoin too. We got to break out above, nothing really changed in gold. We've been here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row in the little spot here, working on probably just resting after that huge freaking move up. I mean, we went from 1830 all the way up here to 2000 in how many days was that? Let's see. It wasn't even that many days. You can say it's on war fears, whatever. It was like 11 trading days, 15 calendar days. It was 2 weeks basically. We shot up here. It had to rest. All right, we had to get a couple days of rest at least, and we're up to 15. We rested for a week essentially. Now, if it can break out, we're going higher. If it breaks back down below this support box, we're coming back to the roadmap line. I mean, that's as simple as it is right there on gold. Bitcoin also taking a rest after that freaking ginormous move. Now, typically we would expect to see maybe a return back to the 100. That's one path. Another path is to rest for a few days and then pop the 1618 at 36.4. And the other possibility is we just arc on off and come all the way back down to the roadmap line. I think we're going to rest and pop higher. And then we may retest this breakout at 32 before we continue on higher. We'll see. All right. Yeah, the roadmap line is based on 2 different moving averages. So, yeah, it's just the 144 EMA and the 169 EMA. That's basically what the roadmap line is. If you want the link, if you want to put it on your chart, you want the link, the link's in the description. It's like $5. I give you an easy link. You just click it and boom, it's on your chart. Of course, you can go watch some of my past videos on YouTube, give you all the code if you're more interested in just typing it in yourself. If you want the code, I have the code available. If you click the $5 link, you can get the code, paste it right into TradingView, add it to another indicator. If you're limited on how many indicators you can have, you can paste that code right into other code. You can build your own indicators if you didn't know. You just click this button right here, source code. You can add in whatever you want to. Maybe beyond the scope of what you know how to do. But Ethereum showing some strength. It's got some room to go if it's going to catch up to where Bitcoin is. If it catches up to Bitcoin, we're going to be up here in this target zone around 23. Otherwise, just chugging on the path. Dollar churning in here. Testing the top again, testing the resistance. I'm still 60-40. We're going up to 208 or to 108 before we drop down to the roadmap line down here around 104. So I'm like 60% thinking we're going up here, 40% down here. All right, what's moving today? Google hitting the roadmap line. Watch for this to turn and burn at this point. It's right down to the roadmap line. That was what I said was probably going to happen yesterday. Now we've got this. Well, unfortunately, we have a large gap down. That's going to be resistance. You could play for the gap fill. Extensions up here, 147, 153. At this point, if the market turns, this thing's probably going to show a lot of strength. It's held up really well. Just now getting the retrace that we saw in Microsoft and Apple. Microsoft came up, hit that resistance, didn't get the close above in the conservative target. This does give me a little bit of pause, but like I said, if the market turns like I kind of expect it to, we may see this one, rally strongly. 381, 400, maybe even higher than that. So we'll see what we got cooking as the market turns. So we do need the market to turn, though. We can't just do all this stuff without seeing that. So the other one I skipped here, Amazon reporting earnings today after the close. I was speculating yesterday if we saw a close down in here, we may see Amazon get my Apple, Amazon closing below the roadmap line. We may see Amazon drop down here on earnings, find support at that prior breakout level. It broke out before we can go higher. That is right now that would be an echo of that first move down, echoing down to here. Now, earnings are a gamble. I mean, let's be honest. I get it right sometimes, but not all the time. I thought Google might pop on earnings. It didn't really do that. Meta, I thought we might get a retrace. We kind of popped initially, but we are getting that retrace back to the roadmap line. Probably going to come down there quickly. I thought we could see that. I thought when we closed below that line yesterday that we would see a drop, and that's what we're seeing. So kind of right on Meta. I thought I was going to be wrong, but yeah, I was wrong once. It's like that old adage, you know. I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken. So anyway, air, not enough candles to do anything. That looks choppy and nasty. I'm not messing with it. Not messing with it. Now, that's a potential bounce off the roadmap line. Beautiful potential. Nice long correction. Topped out back here in July. Retraced right through yesterday. Today popping up. If we can break out, 637, 667 on the upside up there. Pretty nice potential. And beating on the top, beating on the bottom. Strong numbers. Not huge revenue, but strong numbers. Now, does it have to go higher? Nope. I would wait for it to get above probably 588 before I was feeling more confident. We could turn down at that 618 and churn even lower. Yeah, that is a lower high. This is a lower high so far. Watch out. ASML popping a little bit, but still lower high. Still target down here at 523-ish, 520, 530 area. I still think that one's probably heading down there. PI, I don't know. What the fudge? How do you even say that? I don't even know how you would say that company name. I'm sure somebody knows how to pronounce it. Not me. Right there. We're still below the roadmap line. We got below that 786. That kind of indicates that we may see a deeper retrace. It could lose 3/4 of its value if we break below that prior low. And it's not unheard of. We've been down there back in COVID times. Could that be the retrace and we hold it there? Well, it could. It could. We pull this on over. We pull this on down to the lowest low there. We could hold this area. We've consolidated here once, twice, 3 times. Do we break out and go higher? Not sure yet. That chart is not very clear at the moment on what it's about to do. It's kind of a 5 down. We could see a 3 up and get an acceleration down. Be careful. BIIB. This is a biotech pharma. Be careful on that stuff. It doesn't always follow my patterns. That one could easily fill that gap. What gap you say? That one right there. We're gapped from here up to here. We could drift all the way back down here. Could it find support and turn higher? Well, it could. But it looks like it's going to drift lower at this point. I wouldn't mess with it. Adobe, ABDE, ADBE. Get my letters in the right order. That one looks like it wants to hit the roadmap line, but we don't have earnings on this one for a while. December even. That'll probably be at the whim of the market. It'll go higher with the market. It'll churn sideways if we keep churning. Has opportunity to come up here and retest this resistance where we topped out all the way back here in 21. A couple of years ago. Prior highs. Yeah. There's not less people using Adobe. I mean, how many people have looked at a PDF in the last week or so? I mean, I've posted them to Discord. So PDF's pretty popular. I use Photoshop practically every day. I use what is it? Premiere to make all the videos. So FWRD. Man, I'm like dyslexic today or something. Reading the letters out of order. Yeah, that's still bearish. Big bearish move below the roadmap line. Bearish. We could pop up to the roadmap line, but it's still bearish. Be careful. EDR. It's kind of funny. We use a company called EDR for environmental data resources, which is not this company. But when I see EDR, I think of that environmental data resources company. This thing. Bias for a move down to 15. That's kind of gnarly. IPOs are bearish. We may go lower, and that's kind of okay. Look, that was somewhat impulsive. That's a 3-wave correction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably going down. Could that be the bottom? It could, but be careful. That is somewhat of a bearish pattern. It may need to bottom right down here around 12 to 14. ABVC. There's another biotech pharma. Apparently pre-split, I drew a big down arrow. 1 for 10. That's not usually bullish. And we went lower, popping up to the roadmap line, which is not, again, I mean, look, we've done it lots of times on this one. Going lower. Biotech pharma, be careful. CARR. Man, that hit the retrace extension. Can it turn up here? That's a good question. Looks kind of bearish. We may go on down. Carrier Global. May come on down. Looking a little gnarly. IBM popping off, bouncing off the roadmap line, announcing earnings, beating on the top, beating on the bottom. Pretty good outlook, I'm imagining. And let's draw the next roadmap bounce. 156, 161, which is confluence with the, I don't even know what these fibs are supposed to be attached to. Probably drug them around inadvertently. Confluence of that 164-ish area. Does have resistance to that 154, 156 area. May see a pop up there, retrace back, retest these 2 highs before we can push on up higher. My voice cracked. Flex. Have to remove some fibs. Well, Retrace before. Look, sometimes it's as simple as this. Like, just go like this. 34 would be the potential next target. Confirms on a move up through these prior highs at 27, 30, 32. RCL. Just churning. Probably going to drop further. Support down here. Also, we got support where we are. Support here. Support here. Nova. And that looks like a dumpster fire. Let's be honest. I mean, EMP8, ENPH. Nope. ENP. Yeah, there we go. I mean, look at that. Broke below support. Next one down is way on down. That one might be at support, but ouch. STM. Lee, man. That low to that high. Need to turn here. Need to get above the roadmap line. We have a downtrend. These two highs. Get above that roadmap line. That could be positive. LYV. I'm cautious on betting on further downside for a lot of things because if the market turns here, there's huge potential for a lot of things to turn up very quickly. Is there a way to turn alert notifications for just the IWM room? It's in the FAQs channel, and you just right click on everything, every other channel, right click it and mute notifications, or turn the whole server to only at notifications. Easy. You can also subscribe to the SMS if that's what you want to do. And PDD. And potentially going higher there. Right up to the 1618. Right up, getting above. Working on the breakout there from the orange box. That's been resistance for a good long time. PDD could go on higher. Even if it is a dumpster fire of a company in China. Making money, though, as long as they're not lying. KDP, Keurig Dr. Pepper. What a weird combination, right? Green Mountain Coffee and Dr. Pepper. They should make like that coffee Coke thing. Coffee Dr. Pepper. I used to trade Green Mountain Coffee Roasters. That was my favorite stock for a number of years. Like, I made thousands of dollars off of the trading that. My biggest trade before COVID was on Green Mountain Coffee Roasters on earnings. I made about 40 grand on an earnings pop. And yeah. Then they went private. They came out with a Keurig cold thing and destroyed the stock. And then they went private. And then now they merged with Dr. Pepper. Yeah, GMCR. And I love that stock. Like, me and that stock were like, I knew what it was going to do. But this chart looks horrible. Let's be honest. There's nothing cooking right here. Nothing going on. It just looks painful. EDU, that thing continues to be a beast. Super beast. And higher extensions. I mean, we filled the gap over here. This thing can go back to the prior highs up here at 160. It's likely to do a retrace again before it chugs up there, but it can just take off and go. OPRA, Opera. Is that the web browser? Yeah, I think it is. Wow, look at that. Was one straight move up and came back to the roadmap line. Sitting at support. We get below 877, probably coming back to the lows. If we turn up higher again, probably break above 1586. That'd be an indication we're going on the extension, initial indication. Confirmation above 22 that we're going to 33 or 39. Align technology. This is like Smile Direct, isn't it? Like, I mean, not, it isn't Smile Direct, but it's like a competitor, right? I think. Watch out, baby. I mean, Smile Direct Club. I don't even know what happened to that thing. I think it got delisted or put on the hot sheets, the OTC. There it is. Yeah, OTC. What a ticker. SDCCQ. Ouch. 3 cents. That's a dumpster fire. SCO. Tractor Supply coming back. Not good. Retail is a story of haves and have-nots. If it can turn here, it can go higher. Initial indication, we break back above the roadmap line around 215. Otherwise, down is the direction, and 139 is the target. ANET, and it could take a while to do it. I'm not betting on it going down. I'm just pointing out things here. ANET right back to the roadmap line. Got a bunch. I've had a longer term target sitting up there. Double topped right back to the roadmap line. If we can find support here, turn back up through, fill the gap. Upside target. Golly, burpee ever after this morning. Excuse me. Yeah, 205, 215. CHTR. Got a long list today. Good grief. Long list. I think I'm going to cut this off. CHTR, Charter. A lot of telecom not doing so hot. 405 a share, though. Right back to the roadmap line. I mean, there you go. 477, 499 on the upside. MSTR getting hit a little bit on Bitcoin, but we're still working on the target 432, possibly 616. And if we get really sparky, we're talking 800. I mean, we were up there not that long ago. 2 years ago. We can go there again. We can even go extensions. Hasbro. Retail haves and have-nots. Ouch. Right back to lows. I need to get back on the Barbie train, I guess. NVIDIA. Watch out for this one to break below that support. We get below it, we can be coming on down. It could be substantial. Head and Shoulders plays out to the downside. That can even happen while the market goes higher. MA. Ouch. That didn't work out from my potential trade. I have like one share. Looks like I'm down $10. I was playing with the chart pattern. Looks like it broke through the stop. UPS. Well, hit the target. Now, do we go for the extension? 129? Maybe. FDX. Yeah, get a retrace. That one could retrace substantially. Could come back to this 200 area. SNPS. Looks like it's going to come back to the roadmap line. ARGX sounds like a biotech. Health technology. That's got a huge gap to fill. Support at the roadmap line at 449. FNGU. Oh, there's 130. Whoever was looking for 130, there you go. Got 130. BC. Man, that's rough. Is that the bowling ball company? No, auto parts. I was like, bowling? Maybe it is bowling. I don't know. Auto parts, OEM. I don't know. Cars are expensive. Interest rates high. That's usually when auto parts does really well because people keep their cars because they can't afford to buy the new ones because of the freaking interest rates. So 49 on the downside though. ISRG continues to suck it up with the GLP-1 drugs, and watch out below. And we can come back down into these areas down here. Got support here. Got support here. And that's kind of diagonally. Diagonally. Yeah, we could hold support, but not looking too good. All right. Have a good day. All right. Let's hit a few more. EW. That looks pretty bad. Probably going down the toilet. Another med specialty. MXL, Maxilinear. How low can she go? Down here in the single digits. Tesla. Getting a baby retrace. Just consolidating. Let's zoom up. See how we're working on my path here. And little pop may work on the rest of the drop here. 196 would be support. 179 is also support. So we'll see what happens here. Could just tag 196 and then take off. All right. The rest of that PXD is a buyout. We talked about that yesterday. Hershey continues to kind of suck. How far does she retrace? Maybe a long way at this point. That was one big move up. Click, 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 click. There we go. Support. We're right at the top end of support. May push down to this 169 area where we consolidated right there. Look at that. It's kind of funny how these 618s line up with prior consolidation. Now, this level wouldn't have been set until we made this high, but it's funny how it hits right there. We may come down, test that zone before we go higher. Now we've measured bounce, and that could take us up significantly on Hershey. Hershey could be up here like 4 to 600. COP just messing around, churning, not able to break through resistance. May come back down with oil. All right, USO, touch that one. And, well, hit the target. Retracing back to the roadmap line. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Yeah, roadmap line. Potential, if we hold the roadmap line and turn up, potential long. Otherwise, nothing to do on that one. Bias for the day. Circle back around. Yeah, 4160. There it is. How many days did I say? 4160. 4160. We tagged it. Now, do we find support and go? Or are we going to break support and go further down? That's the big question. So time's going to tell. We'll see what happens. I've got a few webinars today, but I'll try to keep you updated in Discord. If you want to come hang out, link is in the description. I'll see you tomorrow for another Morning Monster. Make sure you hit the like button if I said anything that you liked. Even if I didn't say something you like, I mean, like, if I said something you didn't like, hit the thumbs down. Interact with the video. Share it with somebody. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell with the notifications, and I'll see you again tomorrow because I'll be back at it. Remember, it's not being wrong that costs you the money. It's staying wrong. Make sure you have a plan. You know when you're wrong. Close your trades because it's, the account you save may be your own. I mean, let's be honest.